I grew up in Audubon mainly. And there, growing up, you were a city kid. You were labeled a city kid. And Audubon's really small. But the farm kids always had this special bond. You know, the neighbor kids always hung together. You know, it was a special bond. They got together. They had ice cream socials out there. I was always envious. So when I did marry my husband and lived on the farm, you know, that was the one thing we were going to remember, our neighbors. And we're losing our neighbors. We're losing a whole life. You know, we're not teaching ethics anymore. We're teaching the dollar sign. I'm involved because I wanted to raise healthy children. You know, that was the mothering instinct of me. I wanted to be a farmer so I could raise food that I knew that no one else had tampered with. And I wanted a place where the kids could run and they could have their adventures and be safe. It's not the way to make a lot of money, but it's a way to raise a family.
I've come kind of full circle on why I'm in agriculture. I think I probably started out in the 70s like a lot of young college graduate farm boys did, thinking they could build their empire and be kind of like a mini bonanza. And now I realize that I enjoy farming because of the life that you see, birth, new crops growing still fascinates me. How you can get a plant of corn 6-8 feet tall a few months after planting a little kernel the size of your fingertip. Just the power of life and the power of nature, I think, is what fascinates me today, and why I'm doing it today, even though we could make far more money doing something else. We're kind of in a constant state of change, and I like the way we're changing our farm. We're growing more small grains, less row crops, because the row crops are a little more erosion prone. And we're changing the animals to animals that we can market directly. Less numbers, but trying to grow high quality animals for we can sell it to our friends to be happy. So we grow corn, soybeans, oats, a little wheat, and alfalfa, and raise chickens and hogs. We've gone to a breed that has high eating qualities, a Chester White. They're like second or third, I think, in the eating quality list. And a highly prolific breed, probably an older breed, and a tamer animal. We picked an animal that we thought would be safer to work around and more enjoyable to work around.
To me, every aspect of farming, and I don't care if it's livestock or plant or even washing your car part or washing up the tractor's part, is a spiritual experience. Because none of that would be there unless something greater than us put it there. And it's a humbling experience. And if you sit in a field of alfalfa and you're just really quiet, you can almost swear the alfalfa's singing when the wind goes through and Charles Honeybees goes around. It's magnificent. And then the birds will come. And if you stay really, really quiet, they'll get closer. And not only can you hear the symphony, you can see it. And I think that's as close to God as I can ever be.
I guess I'm in a situation where I'm a touch more pragmatic because we have to balance a need for income with the enjoyment of doing the work. And so our compromise has been to try to do things that we enjoy that can return an income, and we're hoping that direct marketing will let us meet some people who wouldn't meet otherwise. I guess we're trying to make a difference by making food products available to people where they know the producer. And then the secondary benefits of knowing the producer are they can find out how the animal was fed, how the animal's health was, how the animal was processed, where the animal was processed. And it's a food safety issue as well as a food quality issue. The tiny, tiny little food system that we're developing and many other people are developing, across the country, is a personal system where the producer and consumer can see each other. And hopefully there'll be a lot of good things come out of that. Audubon County Family Farms would have about 5 active farms today. And the goal is to help each other learn how to sell products and when possible, help sell each other's products. And the idea was that perhaps a beef producer could sell some apples, or a honey producer could sell some pork, or a pork producer could sell some beef, and also give us an opportunity to learn from each other and from time to time encourage each other. Our farm's 2 major products are pork and poultry, and we have gotten started to break it down into cuts, and we can also sell halves or whatever product people want.
We sell whole pork, the whole hog. We don't do cuts like Vic and Cindy do. All our animals are treated with herbs. They're not treated with any kind of antibiotic unless it's a dire need, to save the animal's life.
We have the honey, and we market it both as your grocery store type honey and then in gift containers for gift stores. The beeswax candles, cherries, frozen cherries, and cherry jam. And we have in the works a very large bittersweet patch, cultivated bittersweet, which is an ornamental, and we intend to market that. And we're interested in older varieties of apples, the so-called antique varieties. The history of the apple in this country is kind of interesting. There are hundreds of varieties of apples. And early years in this country, a lot of those were raised. But as marketing changed and apple production started to dominate certain sections of the country, like Washington State, they started looking for apples that would ship, apples that would sit on the shelf for however long they needed to sit on the shelf, apples that looked red. In any event, in our opinion, a lot of the apples on the market today are not that great. And we're really working to find the older varieties that have better flavor.
It's interesting that you mentioned the older varieties of apples, because Leo and Mary's Burks are an old breed.
Are they?
And my Chesters are not as old as the Burks, but they're in modern times an older breed. And the eating qualities of the Burks is the highest there is in the hog industry. And Chesters are maybe 1 or 2 below that. But all 3 of us are selecting genetics that have high value for the consumer, rather than, what should I say, the easiest one to mass produce.
That's something that ties us all together. We're looking at products. We're looking at, in either hogs or apples that have qualities that are not only important to us, but to those folks that we sell to.